Thank you, everyone, for joining us again for another episode of Forza Barca. And today is a special day because we're going to be talking about two games, and we have a new player joining, and a few players that might be going out. So it's an exciting, interesting time to be a Barca fan right now. You either love it or hate it, right, Mustafa? so, we probably should address that because people are fucking hating us or
Yep.
are really entertained by the summer. It's only two people, two kind of people. There's no in between. Either you hate us right now, or you're entertained and think this is hilarious. What's been happening this summer?
Well, of course, there's always a risk that this whole operation goes sideways because we are basically selling revenue streams and getting new players and overcoming our wage cap and so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, I don't understand this whole I guess the German media, especially, just um, try to compare Barcelona to the clubs that are led by governments and oligarchs and sheikhs and all that stuff. But that's just not the case because we Barcelona is selling their own assets to generate revenue. That's that's their assets, and not even Bayern Munich is wholly owned by the fans. So I don't know where this this whole morally um, superior stance come from. I don't understand it, to be honest, because nothing is foul about what they are doing. They are selling their assets and getting. Of course, we as Barcelona fans, we gotta cope in some way, but it's the facts. It's not something that I'm making up.
Yeah,
It's their assets, and they're selling them, and members of the club decided that Laporta can go ahead and sell those exact numbers.
yeah,
And there is nothing. I mean, of course, there's something wrong with it when a club needs to do this, but at the end of the day, it's nothing unfair. Every club can do so if they want to. It's not like somebody's coming out and giving us some free money.
right.
It's we are selling assets and risking something. So that's that. And like you said, Alemani and Laporta is doing some great deals, and it took me a while to acknowledge that. I mean, you are the optimistic guy.
I knew you'd come around. I knew
Yeah.
you'd come around.
But to be honest, it's really it's good to see that some great deals are being made, and a lot of players even um, they are not even getting those wages that they would get otherwise at Chelsea, like Kunde or Lewandowski at Bayern, and it's good to see that they are okay with it as long as they can play for this great club.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's I think that's what people don't understand. Really, I mean, they just see the headlines and journalists taking shots, and they automatically believe what they're saying in there, and it's kind of hilarious in a way because Barcelona has never been owned by anybody, and it's like I said, it's the people's club. It's if you're a fan, if you're a socio, you have a say in what happens in the bigger deals, like this. Like if you are following what happened, all these levers that that were pulled over the summer were voted by the people to be approved. It's not just a rich guy or a billionaire uh, throwing money at us. We have to generate our own money, our own revenue. So it makes sense when you go through a period where you're not making enough money. You're not with the pandemic, with the previous administration going AWOL as far as handing out contracts and paying for players up the wazoo for every star play that we got, we spent over 100 million. It's insane to think about. All those catch up to you, right? Like all those deals that were
Mm,
made, now they're caught up to us, and we have a lot of deadwood players in our camp that we can't really get rid of because their wages are huge and nobody will buy them. And that happened to us last few years, which ended up making the whole thing worse with the wage cap and everything else. So it's a accumulation of a lot of problems that we needed to do this to get rid of. Um, but yeah, I mean, they're going to spend it however they want to spend it. But the reality is, we're doing what we have to do to stay competitive and stay and win trophies, so we can go back to the status that we want to be in.
exactly. So let's just start with the game against New York Red Bulls. Um,
Let's do it.
what what do you want to start with the lineup?
Go ahead. Yeah,
I honestly can't
you
remember.
don't remember?
uh,
That was 1 o'clock in the
well,
morning on your end, right? Wasn't
yeah,
it?
way too early, man.
Way too early. I'm. We can talk about because really the lineup doesn't matter in these. It's just a matter of did it work or did it not work? What didn't work, and what
Mm,
needs to be changed, right? I mean,
yeah.
this the lineup pretty much in defense we had the same people. We had Garcia and Christensen in the back, if I remember correctly, and we had Araujo as a right back and Alba in the left back. So that's as far as defense go.
Mm.
Um, what did you think about Araujo for the first? Because I think he only played 45 minutes. What did you think of him right back for this game?
Wasn't that good, to be honest. Um, I mean, defensively, he's a beast. We all know that.
Yep.
But when it comes to attacking, there's something lacking. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to uh, record a rap song here. It's just that it rhymes. But
Put some beat
it's
up there.
it's I mean, for games like um, against Real Madrid, against a stronger side, I would prefer him over a lot of other players because when you need that defensive stability, he will definitely guarantee you that. But against a team like New York, I think you can have someone who's more offensive than oriented than Araujo is.
Right. Just because it's, I mean, it works in defense. If we're playing against, like you said, that's exactly right. If we're playing against a strong team, they're gonna be worried about that left. Like for instance, when we play against Madrid, it just makes sense to have him there to try to stop Vinny as much as possible and try to decrease the threat from that side. But if we're playing against, let's say, Celta Vigo or whatever, then it doesn't make sense really to have him there. More to have somebody who's actually really good offensively to help. And then later on, if we need to, we can switch him to the right back to defend well if we're winning or whatever. But
Mm.
like you're right. Like if we're playing against a strong team, it makes sense. You think that's why Javi's playing him a lot in that side because we all, I mean, we're all like we all want Des to be successful. And now Kunde, he's probably going to play a little bit on the right there. We have Sergio Roberto also. Do you think playing him there just to get him used to it? That way, when we play against a strong team, we have that option for him.
I think we saw again twice against Real Madrid um, that he's up to the task at hand, and he's absolutely capable of doing his job defensively.
Right.
In that specific Clasico last season, he also scored, but that's just a given because he's physically strong and really good with the ball, even and with the header, of course. I think it's going to be difficult to justify him being constantly on that position because we should try to give Dest a chance, and we should have Araujo in our central defensive line because he's
Right.
just that good. I think if he wants to experiment with anyone, I think it should be Kunde because he's got a lot of abilities, even to play on the sides.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's most likely what's going to happen because we need the reason why he's playing is him there because he's really good defensively and our right backs that way, especially last season. Dest is kind of sketchy when it comes to defense when he's pressured a lot on that side. So once Kunde starts playing, I think it's gonna and he's really good defensively and aggressive. So I think you're right. It's going to be Kunde on that side, maybe Araujo in the middle if we play three in the back, and then Christensen on the other side. But that's something that we'll see what Xavi's plan is. It's just exciting to have those options.
Mm.
It still throws me off. I'm like, okay, we have so many options in the back now. Especially with PK back as fit. It's yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to plan out. Um, so we had in the middle. We started with Busquets and Frankie De Jong and who played on the other side.
I think it was Gavi.
Gavi. Yep, yep. So
Yep.
the De Jong finally not in the center back anymore. Finally playing in the midfield this for this preseason. What did you think of his performance?
Like I wrote you that night. For me that night,
Yeah,
um, it was a strong performance because he gives a lot of options up front, and that's something that you will definitely miss with even with guys like Pedri and Gavi. Sometimes they are aggressively when it comes to pressing, more so than Frankie De Jong. But
mm,
Frankie De Jong does those runs in the deep, and what that creates is a lot of space for our wings, especially for Rafinha and Dembele. And you can watch the game and see exactly how his runs just irritate the defensive line
yeah,
because you are defending against like four offensive players, and then you have like someone like Lewandowski who you always trying to be cautious and guarding, and of course you have Dembele with his speed and Rafinha with his technical abilities. I think it's a force to be reckoned with, but at the same time, um, we need to find solutions just in the case that he's going to leave. And I think we saw that in the second half when we get to talk to that.
yeah, yeah. It's he's a special player, man. Like we can say that he might not stay or he might go or he's probably gonna go or all. That's beside the point. He's a great player to have. If he doesn't leave and he stays, he's gonna play pretty much every game. He's just somebody who not every game, but like he's gonna be really involved in the games just because the way he is the way um he just I just love those sprints he does. He just grabs the ball and just starts passing one
Mm,
after the other, just heading
yeah.
toward the goal. That's what we need from him. That's the things that he excels at. And he hasn't been doing a lot with us with Ajax. He used to do that shit all the time, and one of the reasons why we got him is because of how easy for him was to take the ball from close to the defense and then take it all the way up front and hand it out to attacking midfielders and attackers up there. That's what he excels at. So having somebody that does that really really well, I think is going to be helpful, especially now that we have a killer attack that's fast and very technical and it's going to be if he stays it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how he improves the way he played in comparison of last 2 years that he's been with us.
Mm. Yeah, I think of course there's right now you have fierce competition within the squad,
yeah,
and that's maybe I think it's a motivation if the club and if he decides to stay, then it's going to be very interesting because he needs to step it up. I mean, there is no way around it. And we need those box to box players. When you have box to box players in the midfield, then you will have something unpredictable in your squad. And he's unpredictable. I think he could improve also on his finishing,
yeah,
because he gets his chances, but you need to be clinical with those. I think in that regard, when it comes to honestly to be that very very clinical and box to box, I think Valverde from Real Madrid is
yeah. He's
a
good at it
step
too.
ahead,
Yeah,
and also consistency. That guy, if you put him in, he's going to deliver,
yeah,
and that's something that Frankie De Jong still doesn't have. But whatever the case may be, I think that he's if he stays, he's going to improve a lot because you have now guys that can take your spot, and it's not just because Xavi wants to try something. If a guy takes your spot, it's maybe for you you will sit like 40 or 50% on the bench the whole season. If a guy like Kessié performs and you choke, it's going to
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
happen.
and it's gonna help, and it's not that they won't get chances if they fuck up or whatever. I think it's gonna be a very dynamic team where we're not really gonna be sure which player is um
Going to play.
yeah, which one, what are the 11 starting players that will play in and out. We're not gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen this season. I think it's gonna be very dynamic. I think we're gonna see players playing different roles, like Dembele and Rafinha. They're gonna be switching sides. Ferran is gonna be switching sides. I think Ansu might play in the middle sometimes, might play in the side. I think it's gonna be where we're not gonna know, especially up front. We're not gonna know what team Chavi's gonna put on on whatever game until he submits the lineup, and that's
Well, I
exciting
think
for us too. I think if you think about it,
uh, definitely, definitely. But I think Ter Stegen is a safe bet that he's
yeah,
going
yeah,
to start the important games,
yeah.
and also Ferran Torres.
uh,
You all know how much
well, yeah,
Xavi loves
he
that guy.
hasn't played a single game. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
granted,
but
he's
I think
injured, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. If
but
if he
he
could,
did go. He did go. He took him with him.
yeah, yeah. Now because to be honest, I absolutely agree with what you said. I think there's a lot of surprises, a lot of rotations going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't mind Rafinha and Dembele switching sides because I think they are both able to play on either side.
yeah,
They proved that. Granted, it's just New York Red Bull, but those are professional football players, and you could see the synergy between those two guys, and you could see that they are both. I think we knew that about Dembele because he's capable with both feet, so
yeah,
it's not really difficult for him to play on either side. But you could see that with Rafinha as well, and I don't think because Xavi tried that with Ferran Torres last season, and I don't think that Ferran is able to play on both sides. Going to be honest there,
yeah.
and
He
if
plays it in Spain. He plays in both sides, but mostly on the right, and in the middle. He plays in the middle too. So, um,
yeah, but he sucks on the left side. The games that he
on the
used
right side, you
him,
mean?
yep, on the right side, right, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he sucks.
I even in Spain, I watched the last couple games. He didn't do really well on the right side when he played on the right side. So yeah, I mean, he could play there, but we have better options to play on that side. So I don't think he will. Um, if you have a fit Dembele, is to put him on the right is way better than putting Ferran Torres on the right. That's just a given.
Uh,
But yeah, so which gives us to the front. We had Dembele, we had Rafinha, and we had Lewandowski in the front in the attacking three. What do you think of that dynamic with all three of them?
um, of course, Lewandowski absolutely unlucky. I think he could and he should have scored at least one.
Yeah,
Um, but the goals will come. There is no rush. It's still a friendly.
yeah,
But Dembele and Rafinha, their synergy is absolutely amazing. I loved every second watching those guys play. It's and if you remember last season, we thought that Dembele is going, and maybe he was playing for to be
better contract and
yeah, to not a better contract, just for a new club and
yeah,
putting himself out there. But I don't know what he's doing now, but he's doing at least at this preseason. He's been amazing, professional, very professional. Of course, mistakes are always going to happen. That's how football
yeah,
is. But he's scoring goals. He's creating spaces. His assists, his vision,
yeah.
absolutely amazing. I mean,
His
that assist to Lewandowski, he should just why take the ball and hesitate and then shoot. It was
yeah,
absolutely unnecessary, but it is what it is.
yeah. And I agree with you. I feel like he's more focused than previous seasons. We haven't seen him really this focused until the last few months, and we were talking about before how he's mainly most likely doing this to get better contract from different club when they when they automatically come to him and try to get him to sign or whatever because he was going to be a free agent. Um,
Mm.
but it seems like that energy is still there, which is good for us. And maybe that was it the whole time. Maybe the Javi lit some fucking fire up his ass, and now he's trying to fulfill his potential and become somebody really important for the club and the world of football. Which is it's going to help us either way with his good performances. Yeah, and you're right. Like him and Arafina, it seems like they had some kind of uh, relationship building, kind of like how Jordi Alba had with Messi and Suarez and Messi, and um, so yeah, if we have something like that up front, that's gonna be awesome and incredible to watch. All
Yep.
the especially because they're both flashy players. They're both try to dribble, try to come up with some new tricks to dribble and all that stuff. So I think it's gonna be interesting and mostly fun to watch them when they're both on the field playing. And Lewandowski is just unlucky as fuck, and he
Yep.
knew it too. He was laughing at one point. He's like, all right, what the fuck? Why is this shit not going in? What the fuck?
But I think, um, and I hate to say this because I was very pessimistic. But the excite. I mean, when you remember when we had MSN
Yeah,
up front. There was a season where Messi was out, and it was just Suarez and Neymar up front,
yeah,
and they had some games together. And me as a fan, even knowing back then we didn't have the best defensive line, it was absolutely. Let's be honest, it was ever since Mascherano and Puyol and Dani Alves left, it wasn't the same anymore. But whatever the case may be, I was not um, nervous because I knew Suarez and Neymar. They got this. They got this. They are going to score, and
yeah,
that's it's not about score, but right now it's in all positions on the field. I feel comfortable. I feel excited to see these players perform on a daily in the league and in the Champions League, and see them perform, because we have options and nobody
Yeah.
is safe. If you fuck up, you are maybe going to fuck up for at least a month or two before you get a chance, before you get another chance. And this is something that I'm really, really excited about. And everybody should know that they need to bring their A game. It's not uh, on the players alone. I think Xavi needs to have his tactics on fleek. He needs to
On
have
fleek.
on fleek. He needs to have that. He needs to have the lineup ready. He needs to have the right guys at the right spot against the right opponent. It's no time for fuck ups. Of course, we are going to lose games and we're going to draw games. It's uh,
That's
it's
inevitable.
how football
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah.
we need to perform and we need to be consistent.
Yeah. I think as long as we see the players giving it their all, and we're playing good football. If we get outplayed or unlucky, then that's what it is. And I think that's when MSN was here and when Pep's Barca was playing. Even when we didn't lose, even when we got out of the Champions League against Inter or Chelsea or whatever, we still felt like the players played really well. We still felt like the
Mhm.
players gave it their all when they were there. It was just either unlucky or maybe the other teams just outplayed us for that day or we weren't at our best. But the players, like, we know what they can do, and we know on a regular basis they were performing really well. I think that's what's been missing for the last 2 or 3 seasons since since Neymar left, basically, since Lucho left and we got Valverde at that point. You saw the shift where we weren't really sure that the players are going to perform. Like when you sit and watch, there was no guarantee you're going to have fun as a Barca fan. There's
Yep.
either it's going to be lucky or Messi is going to pull a magic out of his ass and score a goal or two, and then we win. So that feeling that we had a strong team hasn't been there for a while, and I think now we can say that we have a strong team on paper. Now it's going to be a matter of, are they going to deliver on the field? So it's exciting. It's exciting. Uh, and once the season starts, we'll see what really the players are made out of. Because so far we see flashes of brilliance. We see that there's potential for them to be gel really well with each other and create something amazing this season and win some trophies. Um,
Mhm.
but it's not going to be clear until the season starts when we see them play in a competitive match where the other team is actually trying to shut down everything and score against us. Actually, try to score against instead of just trying to try different tactics or whatever. Um, yeah, so that's going to be
Yeah, let's
a
be
exciting
hopeful
season.
just that we are able to channel all those strengths of ours that we definitely have on paper, and let's see if also Xavi is up to the task at their hand, and it's going to be interesting. One way or the other, it's going to be
Yep.
interesting.
Yep.
So. The game, we won that one 2-0. I think it was a masterclass by Dembele. He had a fantastic game.
Yep.
Of course, Memphis is always on point when he comes on. A lot of unlucky scenes for Ansu and Lewandowski. We already said that.
Yep.
Um, Kessié, absolutely good performance. I like what he's doing, and he's bringing that box to box element as well, and those runs.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think
of
anybody
course,
had a bad game. that I can think of.
No, no, no. Even Sergio Roberto looked like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but it's good to know that we do not depend on one player. I mean,
Yeah,
we have options. I liked Balde. I wrote you that as well. I liked his runs. His last pass wasn't always that good, but he's still young. He's learning, and maybe he's getting some more chances, even if it's just Copa del Rey. Just give the guy some chances, and maybe he'll put a great performance in a important game. Maybe even, I mean, Copa del Rey. You will try out some things. It's not always the best team that's starting in the early rounds. So maybe he's getting his chances.
yeah. I think he'll have a great role, especially if we don't get any other left back. I think he's gonna play a lot. Um, and I hope he does because I can see he's already has the pace to fucking he's super fast. So it's just a matter of I think he can defend it with. I think from what I've seen, he's really good position. He positions himself really well defensively. When we're getting attacked, and when he goes forward, he knows when to go, when not to
Hmm.
sprint, and so he has those nailed down. Like you said, the final pass still lacking a little bit, and he misplaced some passes up front. But defensively, I think he's almost he's not obviously he's always room for improvements, but I think his for his age, I think he'll be able to with experience, especially if he gets a lot of experience this year. I think he'll be able to take the mantle from Alba within 2 years, max. With the right experience that he gets within those 2 years. Um, so I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be a great asset to have in the future. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we
like I
shouldn't
said,
do the same mistake as we did with Korea.
yeah,
Um,
that's yeah, yeah. That's unfortunate because we could
yeah.
have he could be playing for us right now if we played our
Yeah,
cards
and
right there.
even if he does not, I mean, just having him on loan and performing and having that performance, and just not to be rude to him, but just getting big bucks of him, of a transfer,
Yeah,
and that's, of course we get partially money if he goes somewhere, but it's not the same. It's not like you're getting those 50 million euros or 50 million pounds or whatever City and Chelsea um, uh, are obviously wanting to pay, or being able to pay. It's kind of unfortunate because you could see early on that he was really good.
yeah. He had flashes of talents right there. That's blossoming, and he's getting some work done. Yeah, I wish we kept him like you said on loan or something. But I mean, it is what it is. It's you can't keep them all, and sometimes the players just don't want to stay. But I don't know what the case was if we let him go or he wanted to be done. But that's
And to be
unfortunate.
honest, I mean, back then we didn't even care about our own players. I think now with
Yeah,
Laporta
yeah,
and Xavi, it's a different story. You could see a lot of players, young players, are getting bought or getting into
Barca
at
B.
least some training with the first team and stuff like that. Um, we got to give props, of course, to Koeman, but I think it's more than it was more
Necessity.
necessity
Yeah,
than anything else. Um, well, should we close this one with the big rumor? It's not even a rumor; it's what Laporta basically said, that he
yeah.
wants to have a better ending for Messi at Barcelona.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Would you be down with him coming back, or what role would you want him to play?
I
What's
don't
your
care. He
take?
needs to come back. It's his home, man. He's Barcelona. There is no two way around it. I mean, we all were devastated when he left.
Yeah,
I think we needed that time away and to have that reality check.
yeah,
Last season we didn't even get the Copa del Rey, which is basically Barcelona's subscription. It is what it is. I think he will take a smaller role. It's not going to be that he had back then. I think we should not play a system where it's basically
pass to Messi.
dribble to the middle line and pass the ball to Messi, and he's going to do some magic. That shouldn't be our tactics anymore. We should be past that. By the time he arrives, we should be past that.
Yeah, and the players that will be around him are not the same players. So they don't have the Messi, the Messi effect where they just where's Messi as soon as they have the ball. I don't think
Mm.
that's gonna happen if he comes back, because we'll have a different midfield. He never played with Gavi. He's never played with Kessier or Nico, or so it's a whole different midfield up front. It's a whole different, except bar Dembele. Everybody's new up front, so
Mm.
it's gonna be, yeah. I think if he comes back, it'll be like a one last dance version in football with Messi instead of Michael Jordan. And if that's the case, I hope they do a documentary about it with
Yeah,
us winning the
we
Champions League.
needed we need a documentary, but it needs to end on a good note, and
Yeah,
at least
he
you
deserves it,
know.
man. If anybody deserves a
Yeah.
happy ending, not in a dirty way, but in a really.
I think Antonella got that covered.
I was gonna say having Laporta giving him a happy ending is not really what we have in mind, but if that's what you need to do, Juan, fucking do it, bro. uh, but it'll be, yeah, I think it'll be a very sentimental season, and
I
yeah,
think
and a good,
it's
great
great for
goodbye.
La Liga as well.
Yeah, people will tune in to watch, man. It's his last
Yep.
season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe he's going to sign for 2 more years or something like that. You don't know.
Come on, man. With the PSG, don't do it, Messi. Don't do it.
No, I mean with us. He's
Oh,
going
it
to sign
does.
for two
Oh,
more
oh, oh,
years
oh.
instead of just one.
And I'm cool with that too. If he has a smaller role where he comes in, he doesn't play every game and comes in from the bench. I think it's good for him that way he's not exhausted all the time,
Mm.
and he feels fresh creatively and his body's fresh. I think that would be great. That way he can focus more on delivering every time he's on the field instead of having to feel like he has to carry the team every time he is on the field. You know what I mean? So it'll take a lot of weight
Yep.
off his shoulder too.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if he comes back, then and if we happen to not play against PSG in the Champions League, then it's like he just took a little pause
Yeah,
and
yeah.
came back. I think it would be a great story for us and for him.
Knowing our luck, we were gonna play fucking PSG and Chelsea this season. Just our luck, man.
If we win those, I don't care.
And
I
Bayern for the
honestly don't.
final.
That would be a great final.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And Lewandowski scoring the winning goal for us, bro.
One can dream.
They lose their mind, man.
That would be poetic justice, man.
It would be. Let's try to this touch on Kunde.
You know that
How do you
I
feel
wanted
about
this
that?
deal to happen.
I mean,
You
you were
know,
like you were excited, man. Well,
yeah, I could not believe it because, especially when Laporta said that he's basically on his way to Chelsea. So
Chelsea.
I will never trust that guy ever again. He
But to be
said
fair, he
Miss is
said it
going to stay.
jokingly. He said it
Yeah, I
jokingly.
know, but he say Messi is going to stay if I get elected jokingly? No, he did not.
Oh man, I'm
He
sure he
meant
wanted
it.
him to stay. I'm sure he
Yeah,
does. He did.
of course, I know. But at the end of the day, I think it's a great transfer.
Yeah,
I'm really excited, and you know that I've been yapping about our shitty defensive line. Even
yeah,
though we had Araujo, and you could see that Araujo is absolutely world class. One of the best young defenders on the world, and it's just it's a fact. And right now we have a lot of great and decent defenders, and I think the fact that we have those options is going to give us a lot of stability.
yeah. And it's Kunde, man. Kunde is and how it went down is even fucking hilarious. Did you watch the presentation from yesterday when they
Yep,
presented
I
him?
did. Yep.
So they asked him if about the Chelsea bid and if he
Mm,
what happened there, and he told them, I know that there was Barca's getting ready, so I waited. So that all the rumors that were happening that were saying that he was waiting for Barca's bid, he was waiting. There was a bid for Chelsea, but he decided to wait. Remember when he had? I'm not sure how close we were watching it, but at one point he was gonna stay and not go with Sevilla to Lagos to Portugal, but ended up
mm,
going, changing his mind and going with the team. And a lot of people took it as journalists and people that were insiders took it as he's actually it's a signal to Chelsea that he's gonna wait for Barca's bid and he's not gonna take their contract. Um, and of course, the English journals were all saying the opposite. It's all done deal for Chelsea. It's all done. It's all done. It's all done. They already have the
mm,
okay from the player. They have their personal terms all straightened out with the player. Now it's just a matter of Sevilla's accepting the bid. But and that wasn't the case from what I understood when he was talking yesterday. That he was more of yes, there was a offer, but I decided to wait for Barca because once we heard that Barca's interested, we decided to wait. And it was funny because he was saying that he's Alemani said that his agents, Kunde's agents, was calling
mm,
him every day. Once there was rumors that he was gonna, he wanted to wait for Barca. The agent was calling Alemania every day about when are you gonna submit? When are we gonna?
mm.
And Alemania had to tell him, "Yo, chill. Don't call me again until we." I just thought it was hilarious, especially with
Yep.
the saga, how it was going, how all everybody was talking and nobody knew exactly what was happening, and it's just
I
funny
think
to
it's a
how it
good
ended up
signal
going.
that a lot of players still just love the prospect of playing for Barcelona excites them so
Yeah,
much that they are willing to wait. Of course, there are a lot of other players that don't give a shit of playing for us, but fuck them. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the Licht. No, it's all good. We got Kunde.
yeah. I think
But
we got the better deal, but yeah, you're right.
it's I think that the more reliable sources always said that it was basically a done deal between Sevilla and Chelsea and not Kunde. Uh, just talking about the reliable source, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
the English media um, spun that however way they wanted, but the media, the reliable ones, always told us about a deal between Sevilla and Chelsea that the clubs
yeah.
are, if the player decides to leave, that it's all ready. But it's good to know that he waited for Barcelona and that we could strike that deal and get him and add him to the squad. It's a dream come true to have so many good and great options in the defensive line. I think um, our right back and left backs options are a little bit lacking
Yeah,
when it comes to the top teams. We are not there yet. We
I,
cannot
I
mess
think
with.
there's a shortage there too. Like even the big clubs, their right back and left back are not. They're good, but they're not. You know what I mean? They're not setting the world on fire. Really, I mean, who Madrid? Who do they have? Carvajal, who's injured majority of the time,
Mm.
and Mendy, and who's not been very good either. So it's still we're just talking about even Atletico doesn't have a really great right back, left back. City doesn't really. I mean, Kyle Walker runs a lot, but like he still leaves a lot of holes when he goes up front. He's not very good defensively. So it's still all even the big ones. I think Liverpool is probably the only one that I know that has a decent
Trent Alexander
trend.
Arnold is.
Yeah, Trent and Robertson have been there for a long time and they
Mm,
play really well. But
well,
other than that, I mean, can you think of that's setting the
I
world on
mean there are
fire,
a
right
lot
back or
of
left back?
some good
Decent,
ones.
but nothing like crazy. Like, oh, we need to get this
Yeah,
guy
but
because
we've been lacking on those positions for a long time. I mean, we cannot. If Carvajal plays, he's a great player. We
no, he's a good
cannot
player.
not.
I'm not. Yeah, he's just
Yeah,
injured
we
a lot,
cannot
which
knock
is
him.
defeats the
Yep. Yeah,
purpose
but
really.
it's also probably he's not the youngest anymore, but back then, prime Carvajal was pretty good.
Yeah,
I think Mendy, although he's not always active when it comes to his offensive abilities, I think he's a good player. He's fast. I think he's defensively okay. He's good. When it comes to Bayern, they have Alfonso Davis. Davis is an absolute insane player. Now
yeah,
they
he's
have
gonna be.
Mazaraoui.
Yeah, Mazraoui. Yeah,
So those are I think on those positions they are better than Barcelona even right
yes,
now.
yes, yeah. I mean, I'm not. I wasn't like. My point was there isn't really a great option for us to get right now. That's
I
easily
think
that's easily accessible. You know what I
not
mean?
easily
Right,
not, but I
right.
think Angelino from Leipzig is a good one if they could get him. I mean, he's Spanish. He's fast. He got some good assist making. I think it's a possibility.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. We'll see.
Well,
I'm not even sure if they're gonna go for anybody else, but if they do,
well, there was a rumor actually about
there was
Angelino. Yep,
to Barca.
yep.
Interesting. Come on, Alemani, do your thing.
I think that would be too much because he would
Probably
not
gonna
come cheap. I think
cost.
he's got
Yeah.
a contract until 2025 or
Oh, jeez.
2024. Uh,
Next
he
year.
wouldn't come cheap, especially because Leipzig they are known to take a lot of money if they are going to let someone leave. So,
Yeah. I don't know. We'll find
well,
out, man. We'll see.
yeah. Well,
Um.
let's just stay positive and go into the next season. And I hope
Yeah.
our viewers and listeners are going to have a great time. I'm positive that we are going to deliver some great shows and some great
Oh
talks.
yeah. It's
And
gonna
it's
be
going,
fun.
yep, and it's going to be everything probably. A lot of rage from my side, a lot of optimism from your side.
Yeah, to balance it out, we
And
have to balance it out.
yeah, it's yin and
But
yang.
I don't think you'll have a lot of outrage. I think we'll be good, man. I think he's gonna be a lot of happy
Hopefully,
moments. A lot
hopefully,
of happy
let's
moments.
enjoy
Yeah,
great things because God knows we suffered a lot.
we did. Last season was torture, man, in a lot of ways. But especially in
It
the
was
beginning.
ever since 2015, it was torture, to be honest. Oh, we had
yeah,
some great games, some great moments, some great
yeah,
classicals, some great Champions League games. It is what it is.
yeah. Well, that's mostly, you could say that mostly Messi was the factor there. Without Messi, those games that we think about that were great, without him, they wouldn't be. He carried us mostly to a lot of that stuff. All the
True.
joy for the last few years has been him, but um, we'll see. We'll see what happens this year. But if you guys check us out on Spotify, if you listen to audio podcasts, we are on pretty much every podcast application. If you guys want to watch and see our faces, then YouTube um, is the place to go. We're gonna start doing some interesting things. We're gonna start putting some highlights videos, and just to get you guys some things to watch. So you come for the highlights and stay for the podcast, like I said to
Right.
and just to change it up a little bit and give you guys something to watch in between shows. But we appreciate your help. We appreciate uh, continued support. Either you listen or listening or watching. So we appreciate it and thank you. You want to add anything before we close it up, Mister Mew?
No, just a big thank you to everyone listening, and we are off to a good season. Let's see what this season brings. I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too. So we'll react to the Gamba Trophy, and we'll do a show where we set up the expectation for the season before we start, and just have a little discussion about what we think some of the lineup will be. We'll have a better idea of the players we're gonna have, even though the 13th is when it's supposed to start. The season's supposed to start, so it's gonna be earlier than usual. But I think we still need to talk about the season and set up the expectation for the season and our predictions of what's going to happen by the next summer.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again, and Visca Barca, and take care.
Let's go, Barca.